Welcome back to Built to Ship, the podcast where we go behind the scenes with founders and product leaders, shipping real AI products and features into the world. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Daniel, co-founder of Yieldstack, an AI-powered platform that's shaping the future of commercial real estate by connecting borrowers and lenders and streamlining deal flow. Daniel, it's great to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Well, why don't we start with what gave you the idea for Yieldstack? What were you doing before this, and how did you and your co-founder come up with this business idea?
Yeah. So for context, I'm currently a senior at Babson College. Always been in the entrepreneurial space, but throughout college, really took it upon myself to pursue real estate finance professionally. I sat across every single vertical through internships and real work experience, including brokerage, real estate private credit, real estate private equity, and real estate investment banking at firms like Morgan Stanley, Rockwood Capital. But where, the actual kind of insight that built Yieldstack came from my experience at Stormfield Capital, which is a real estate private lender in the lower middle market bridge space. I spent 32 weeks on the originations desk there, originating my own loans. And what I realized is that 90% of our book of business came directly through mortgage brokers. And some of them were great, but some of them were not. And I realized there was a lot of inefficiency with mortgage brokers that could be refined. And, I kind of had that in the back of my head, throughout my time there and then going past it. This past summer, I was in New York doing real estate investment banking as a summer analyst at Morgan Stanley. My co-founder, Raman Adel, also was at Morgan Stanley that summer as well. He sat on the AI strat team. And Raman and I actually go back all the way to high school. We studied for the SAT together. That's awesome. Pretty much as far as our relation used to go back there. But we reconnected at Morgan Stanley. We had a lot of lunches together, went out a good amount, talked a lot. And we kind of had the same sense that, the experience there, was amazing, but not really what we wanted to pursue full time. Left the experience very happy, had a great experience, but I wanted to pursue something more entrepreneurial, go back to my original roots. Instantly I knew that the mortgage broker problem was at the forefront, and now I just needed someone at the technical front. Gave Raman a call shortly after the internship, and just like that, he was on board, and we've just been building ever since.
Amazing. I love that, especially knowing your co-founder, previously is always helpful. It's such an important part of building a business. Frankly, probably the most important part is a good co-founder fit, because you're working through all sorts of challenges and success to get together. And also the fact that you have a background in this space is great. So tell us a bit about what Yieldstack does. What are you focusing on, first? And what do some of the customers you're targeting look like? Are they like large, conglomerates? Yeah. Are they small businesses, et cetera?
Yeah, great question. So at its core, Yieldstack is a full stack commercial mortgage brokerage. So for all intents and purposes, we are a real estate advisory business. How we set ourselves apart is we have access to best-in-class software that allows us to automate the funding process for the borrower all within one platform, just to remove friction, be more transparent, operate 24/7, and price as cheaply as possible. When I was dealing with mortgage brokers on the private lending side, I noticed there was a lot of issues, right? These guys are inefficient, under-resourced. They don't operate the full business day. They're very cheap. And in an industry where an extra 48 hours to close a deal and extra 2% in deal fees can kill a transaction, I noticed that those frictions weren't just annoying, they're deal ending. So I realized that the intersection of AI, automation, and a really strong real estate advisory business could completely transform the industry. And where Yieldstack sits is in the lower middle market commercial real estate space, right? Yieldstack isn't in the business to replace institutional, intermediaries like the Blackstone, Brookfield, KKRs of the world that are doing $500 million check sizes. Those guys, they have their own capital markets teams in-house. They have their own direct banking relationships. We're not really here to replace that. What we want to do is work on those sub $10 million, low ticket size deals that we can just rinse and repeat, do high quantity, and automate it. So these are the kind of players in the market that don't have a lot of capital market access. They don't have their direct banking relationships, and they need to find a new capital provider for every single situation, right? Where the banks kind of don't play in the commercial real estate financing space is these value add situations. Banks really only like to lend on income producing properties. They only lend on the as is value, and they really want to see strong credit worthiness from the borrower. The private lending side comes in when there's like a renovation play or a lease up play, and those players will typically lend on the after repair value. So they'll give more proceeds than a bank can, and therefore those borrowers are far more attracted to the private lending side. There are some trade-offs. The rates will be more expensive, but the borrower can get more proceeds and have terms that are more favorable for those transactions. But, again, those private lenders have very niche investment strategies. So if a borrower has two different projects, it's very unlikely that both of them are going to go through the same lender every single time.
Interesting.
So that's where our platform comes in. It automates lender outreach. So right now we have 100 plus different institutional lenders on our platform with their loan program data already inputted, and a total of 150 loan programs. Most traditional mortgage brokers, what they'll do is they'll receive a funding request from the borrower and they'll ship that deal off to the entire market. That creates a lot of issues in terms of quantity. When a lender receives a deal from a broker that just has traditionally shipped out deals that don't make sense for the lender, they're never going to look at it. Mm-hmm. Like when I was on the private lending side, my boss was receiving 500 deals a day. Right? Wow. Maybe one of those will close. So it's not worth it to look at all 500. You're only ever looking at deals from your highest producing brokers. So our platform takes a quality over quantity approach using our in-house proprietary algorithm. It takes data from the funding request and matches it to lenders' loan programs based on their parameters, guidelines, geographies, terms, etc., that are already stored in-house. So we don't have to, look externally for the data because we already store it. And that outreach happens within 15 seconds of you submitting the funding request. You have distributed an email to the best possible lenders for your project scope instantly, and then they'll receive a hyperlink to our.
It sounds like it's not just automating the outreach from the borrower side. It's also kind of pruning and selecting who are the lenders that should see this. So you're kind of solving both sides of the market. That's fascinating, and definitely sounds like a pretty clear pain. And I like that you're focused on a very specific part of the market, which probably allows you to have, better product fit. I want to know a bit about what are the AI components of this product? So is it like drafting the emails? Is it like the research itself over the data? Tell us a bit more about, what are the AI features that are making you stand out?
So most of what we're pursuing right now is automation. However, there are significant AI components on our platform already, and we're trying to build that out as we kind of continue to progress. Two of the biggest AI components on our platform are the AI deal review before you even submit the transaction. So it looks at all the data you've submitted on your funding request. It's 60 different data points, all the way from the borrower financials to the property information to the loan request. And it automatically calculates all these, significant deal figures, such as, your debt service coverage ratio, your debt yield, your cap rate, your project costs, your liquidity compared to the overall investment. And then it looks at all these different data points, and then it gives you an analysis before you even distribute the deal of what you can expect, what would be some pain points when reaching out to lenders that you might have to figure out later, what's your probability of getting funded. Then from that point forward, our algorithm right now is purely kind of a weighted average kind of just calculation of different variables. But what we're trying to experiment with more is a machine learning model. So as deals continue to close on our platform, instead of just looking at variables and weighting them in correspondence from the borrower form to the lender loan programs, we want to look at, all right, what has this lender historically funded? What were the components of that deal? What were the key performance indicators? And what can that tell us about the future deals that lender might want to see or is likely to fund? So that's something we're also building out. And then the last big component, the AI component of our business, is the term sheet comparison. So the term sheet is kind of the formal offer to fund from the lender. It's binding. And essentially the goal of our process is to collect multiple term sheets from all the lenders we distributed the deal to. And lenders are going to have a lot of different terms in terms of their interest rate, to their loan to value, to their prepayment penalties, to their recourse types. And essentially, we have an in-house AI that's able to take all of these different term sheets, compare it against the borrower's funding request, like their strategy, their loan purpose, basically what they want to do with the deal, what they're looking to get out of the deal, and say, hey, here's all the different terms. This is what might work best for your funding request. Like there's trade-offs with every single term sheet. Somebody might charge less in terms of interest rates or points, but might be more flexible with prepayment penalty or recourse. So we try to just break that down for the borrower and let them know in the context of your transaction, this is what makes the most sense, to give them the best insights into choosing a term sheet that will, kind of lead to the most success and best outcome for their transaction.
That's great. Yeah, I love those three components in it. It sounds like you're using AI selectively and carefully where it makes sense, which is great, not just throwing it everywhere.
Yeah.
There's parts that might, a calculation, a mathematical calculation might make the most sense for, some parts of the scoring. And then other places you need more of this like, qualitative analysis on,
Exactly.
is this deal good for me? Tell us a bit about like the process for developing these AI features. Did you develop them in-house and then test them yourself, like on some deals? Do you go and put it out there in the market? Do you have a few beta testers? And what challenges did you run into when building them, if any?
Yeah. So, for additional context, on the non-technical side, so my co-founder takes, a lot of responsibility on testing. But what we do every day, we spend 3 hours on live QA. We have 5 demo lender accounts and 5 demo borrower accounts. So we just love to ship out all these different random deals with different variables, see the matching score for each lender, and then audit. Why did this lender get chosen and this lender didn't? Does this make sense? Does it not make sense? And then go back and reiterate. And then just go through the process of starting a deal from scratch all the way to loan closing and seeing, how we can change it. If there are changes, I have this huge Excel tracker of every single function we have on the site. Does it work? Great. What can be improved? And then we just kind of ship that out every single day. My co-founder gets a document every morning, does a new fix. I look at it again, and then we kind of just reiterate every single day. The platform is never going to be perfect. But as real lenders, join our platform as real borrowers, we love getting feedback from them because again, it's real world, real market. So we also love to implement that as well.
That's great. I think folks listening in could benefit from hearing like how scrappy but probably effective this process is, because you're super close to the product, like if it's working or not, and you're the one probably talking to these customers on demos and things like that, and you can incorporate their feedback into this like daily review. When it comes to the audit, you mentioned like you have 5 borrower fake accounts, 5 lender accounts that you use for the QA. Are you the sort of source of truth, the human in the loop for auditing?
Sorry, there's some fireworks outside. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, are you the sort of subject matter expert who's auditing whether or not you agree with the analysis done by the AI on the term sheet? And then do you record that is that recorded in that Excel sheet, or does that get fed back into the AI in any way, or do you hand it off to your co-founder? What's that like development process look like?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, my co-founder is not too technical in the real estate space. So everything he produces has to get run by me from a UI, UX, and just technical standpoint. I love to look at everything, see how everything's being calculated, look at the rationale, outputted by the AI, and just do an in-depth analysis. I will say ChatGPT is a good third partner for us, especially with the company research, component. But, I always like to audit everything, see what can be improved, see what's working great. And yeah, I'm the source of truth. Just ship it back off to my co-founder, and he does a great job of implementing everything, producing the next round, and then we move on to more issues. So yeah.
Awesome. What's been the feedback from early customers and users around the AI features? Do they know it's AI? Is it like a chat interface, or is it kind of like they don't realize that this is being generated by AI? Are they accepting of it? Do they have any concerns or pushback?
Yeah. So we're a two-sided network. So on the lender side, it's very discreet that it's AI. Obviously, our domain is Yieldstack.ai. But in terms of lenders, they do their business in-house for the same way every single deal. So we don't want to add an extra layer of friction to lenders by having them learn a completely new platform to just do deals through us. Because at the end of the day, we're at at most going to be 1 to 2% of their book of business. So we don't want them to have to learn new AI components just to get a deal across. The point of our platform is to automate and remove friction for the borrower side. So the AI components really come out there. And yeah, like the AI before even submitting your deal, like that analysis of what the pain points and what the strengths of your funding request are extremely helpful, and especially on that term sheet side. So that's where the AI really comes out to shine. But on the lender side, it's really just like a CRM and an easy way to get qualified and free deal flow, nothing else.
Great. And when it comes to, getting this into production in the hands of customers, we're starting to see a lot more businesses actually having AI features in production. I think this year was the year of people getting AI into prod. Is there a way you have to analyze, like, do you have a way to see what the AI deal review summary was for your customers, or do you just depend on them to like message you and say, hey, this didn't look good. Here's a screenshot of it. Do you have
Yeah.
any tools or systems like your Google Sheet that you can kind of keep watch on how it's doing? I'm sure you tested it offline, but once it's in the
Yeah.
hands of customers, how do you know it's still working well?
Yeah, of course. So every single deal that makes it through our platform gets harvested into our admin portal. So our admin portal tracks every single facet of a transaction from start to finish, all within one place. You can see the economics of the transaction, like all the data points in the funding request. Who got the deal distributed? So which lenders received the deal? Are the lenders rejecting the transaction? Are they requesting more information? Are they shipping off soft quotes or formal letter of intents, right? What was the matching score between the borrower funding requests and the lender? What was the AI analysis as well? So everything gets housed within our admin portal, which is great because it's one source of truth. But maybe shipping it out to Excel would be something we can look into for the future. Having it in multiple spots would always be helpful, just for like data analysis reasons.
Cool. That's great. Well, right as we wrap up, I want to put your website up on the screen. It's Yieldstack.ai. While I
Yep.
do that, maybe share a bit with the audience. Who should reach out? How can they get in contact? Who's the right person that will get benefits and value from working with Yieldstack?
Yeah, exactly. So, we're a two-sided network. So on the lender front, if you're a private lender or any commercial real estate lender operating in the lower middle market space, so offering loans $10 million and below, and just want access to qualified, tailored, and free deal flow, please give us a look. It takes 5 to 10 minutes to, create your account. And from that point forward, you wouldn't have to move a muscle until a qualified deal hits your inbox. And then we can move from there to get the deal until closing. And we only make money when lenders make money. On the borrower side, if you have a transaction in your pipeline, don't really have a strong capital provider that funds every single one of your loans, we're a very low friction process. Hop on our platform, takes 10 minutes to submit your funding request, and within 15 seconds, you will have had automated outreach to the best possible lenders for your transaction every single time. And if I can't get you a term sheet within 48 hours, then you can relinquish our services, no problem whatsoever. So either side of that network, if you fit in those buckets, schedule a demo. I'd love to show you the platform, see where we can add value, and send you an invitation to join if it makes sense for you.
Amazing. Yeah, that's a great value prop. And, that guarantee and the 48-hour timeline is pretty hard to beat. So appreciate you coming on, Daniel. It's been great learning about Yieldstack, and enjoy the firework festivities over there.
Thank you so much. I definitely will. Appreciate your time. This has been a great experience.
Yep. Talk soon. Bye now.
But